As for this lesson, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to get around a little bit in the pentatonic scale over a blues style progression. So once you learn how to play and learn the techniques, you'll know how to get around. So let's zoom in for a closer look. Check it out. All right. So you're going to hear me refer to different chord inversions. Now what I mean by that is, say A, the key we're going to play, or A major more specifically, the A major chord is in a lot of different, and I'm going to go over this more in depth in the video down below, so check this out, but I'm just going to give a brief explanation on why I'm doing what I'm doing. The A chord is in different spots. You got an A there. That would be the A shape. You got an A here. This would be kind of the E-shaped version of the A chord, because if you look right here, these three fingers, they form an E chord, right? But by putting our finger here, we kind of use this as a movable capo, and now our root note is an A, but it's the E shape of the A chord. Now there's also a D shape, so imagine a D chord. Now we just got to find where the root, third, and the fifth of the chord, these three notes, where those would be on the neck to make an A chord. In that case, it's up here. Now, the trick to finding that inversion is, this is really the back side of the chord, right? Your root would be a whole step down on the D string. So you would find the A note right here on the D string, and then you go up a whole step, and on the bottom three strings, you make that D shape. Now, that chord's kind of hard to make. You could do it like this, but it's kind of difficult. So a lot of players will play it like this, because usually in a band situation, the bass player will be playing the lower notes anyway. So, and in this context, we're going to use it to solo. Now, check this out. So, if we were in A minor pentatonic, a lot of us would, right, there's our A minor chord, do a riff like that, because our root note, or the A note, is right here. Now, our A major, right, we take the same minor shape. If we move it down 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, now that same, right, shape is located at the starting at the 2nd fret. And when we do this, now it's A major. Now in this instance, our root notes are out of this E-shaped chord, and those are the notes we're targeting. Okay, also this note right here, okay? So, right, those all sound great. But when we move down to here to major, now our chord is right here, and our target notes are right there when we're over the A chord. So if I tried what I did down here, doing my minor licks in A major, they will not work. So check this out. It's okay, right? They sound okay as long as I come back to the notes over here. So what I want to do is I want to target either the root, third, or the fifth. That's what makes the chord. Okay, so we have E, right? If you relate to the notes here, it's the fifth, right? There's our root, the A note, right? And there's the third, the note that makes it major and minor, right? Because if we brought it down, then we're, okay, then we're in minor. So what we can do, that note would be great. Okay, so what we would do is we would slide up from 2 to 4 on the D and resolve back to our root. We could do, right, that all sounds great. So we would slide from 2 to 4, hit our root on the G string second, and then I could bend up the 4th fret, G, and come back to the root. Now, that note also sounds great because we're actually bending up to the 3rd of the next chord. Okay? So what I would do That's how we can get from position 1 to 2 and still hit great notes in the A chord. So I would go 2 to 4 on the D, catch 2 on the G. Now I'm going to slide from 4 to 6 on the G, right? Going up to the 3rd of this chord, because there's our triad. So I'm going to go up, hit the B5, and then I'm going to hammer from 5 to 7 on the B, and then hit our root note on the E. So we got, and I can do the same thing, right? And when I bend that note up a whole step, the 7th fret, again, I'm getting to my next A chord down here. So we got, okay, now I could slide that up. So, and what I did there is I went into the 3rd position of major pentatonic, and then I hit one of the notes out of my A chord, and then I resolved to the A note right there. So over the A chord, check this out. I went through 3 positions. I hit one wrong note, so you know. It just came out. It wasn't meant to be there. So let me try that again. There it is. So that got you to position 1, position 2, and position 3. Now we didn't use all of the strings, but typically you really don't, right? When you're climbing up positions, you'll use typical road maps oftentimes, right? So we went from 2 to 4, all in the 1st position, sliding up to the 2nd position, hitting the root there, sliding to 3rd position. Now this can be seen as 3rd position or 4th position, because 4th position's right here. Right? And you can do that with. So you start to see that it becomes more about chord tones than actual scale shapes. But we gotta know the shape to help us get there in the beginning. We can really use it right? Because I'm just hitting all those A chords. Now there's even more than that, right? If you start to experiment with the cage system, you get all the inversions of the chords, right? But that's just 3. That's the major 3 that I work from, because typically you'll find a lot of the riffs that you're going to play, especially when they're a little bit more basic riffs and starting out in soloing, you'll find that those shapes are really used a lot. So the A shape, the E shape of the chord, and the D shape. Right? So experiment with that. Look for the shapes. We got to the A versions of the chords. In the next couple lessons, I'll go over what the 4 and the 5 chord would be. So now we'd have to look for the D and the E chords. So let's check those out in the next lesson, but really hammer in and look for those A's. One of the tricks I do is I'll play an open A string. Right? And listen for that sound, right? Resolving to those chord tones, because it'll sound good over that A note.